The names of both individuals and entities, as well as crypto wallets, have been shared by the RCMP.
But right now, given the level of activity that we have, it is risky.
That's why I intend to work my heart out to elect Democrats.
Canada is apparently freezing your bank account if you contributed at all to the trucker freedom convoy. Hillary Clinton is back in the news giving speeches. Fauci says unmasking kids is too risky. Leah Thomas breaks yet another collegiate swim record. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
That might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from a dingy bunker completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live it is February 18th, the year of our Lord 2022. It's Friday, headed into the weekend. Everything is fine and dandy, except for the things that are insane. And we'll get those things out of the way up front. Then we'll talk about some funny things. By funny, I mean amusing. Maybe they're funny, maybe they're amusing. We're back in the dingy bunker after a long time away. Tuesday did a rally in, where were we? Chicago, Illinois with Charlie Kirk. Had some fun there. Was in Phoenix yesterday. Now we're back in the dingy bunker where we've been. With that, I want to get started on this. This is I need a thesaurus. I need a thesaurus to adequately describe the ridiculousness of things going on. Because I say ridiculous, I say crazy, I say insanity. I say all these words all the time. I think if you have any better adjectives that I can use to describe the craziness, please let me know. Also, okay, so we're talking about Canada first. What's going on in Canada is, and this is what I'm talking about, I need a thesaurus, is insane, it's ridiculous, it's crazy, it's all of those things combined into whatever other adjective I can use to describe the ridiculousness. If you're not already there, I know there's a couple thousand of you watching. Click the little like button, click the little share button. Really helps us get out to people more. I know you have liberal friends that will see this, and they need to see this because what's going on in Canada is insane. The Freedom Convoy got to Ottawa a couple weeks ago. They've been in Ottawa. Justin Trudeau issued an emergency power to give himself as much power as humanly possible. The legal back and forth in the Canadian Parliament is, we're not going to get into the intricacies of that. Honestly, I'm not even entirely sure of how to best describe what's going on there. But yesterday, the Deputy Prime Minister, Chrystia Freeland is her name, gave an interview or a press conference in which she said that they're freezing bank accounts. So you probably heard this over the last couple of days. If you donated to the Give, Send, Go or the GoFundMe to support the Freedom Convoy truckers in Ottawa, now the Canadian government has tracked down your bank account or your crypto wallet or, as we'll read in this article, pretty much any other banking thing that you can do with a major banking institution. Let me let this interviewer ask the question and listen to Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland give her answer on what in the world is going on in Canada. If you haven't already, click the little like button. Again, really, really helps us out. Also, give me a comment. Let me know of other words that I can use to describe the insanity going on here because I've run out of fun terms to use to describe the craziness.
So you're confirming that accounts have been frozen, both personal and corporate, but you're not releasing the information. And the actual follow-up is, I'm just wondering whether the bank accounts will be targeted of individuals who donated to the Give, Send, Go and the GoFundMe campaigns. Are they considered designated people under the Emergencies Act, meaning that their credit cards could be cut and financial services are targeting them as well?
Okay, so the names of both individuals and entities, as well as crypto wallets, have been shared by the RCMP with financial institutions, and accounts have been frozen, and more accounts will be frozen. Crowdfunding platforms and payment service providers have started the registration process with FinTrack. In terms of the specifics on whose accounts are being frozen, you now have the regulations. The financial service providers have those regulations as well, and they, working with law enforcement, will be making the operational decisions.
Okay, you heard that there. Again, that was the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada talking about the government freezing people's bank accounts for donating to the protest that Justin Trudeau does not agree with. Holy cow, let me read you some interesting components of this story. Again, this is fascinating because I didn't know this was possible. I was unaware that it was possible for the government of a country, supposedly free country like Canada, to freeze assets of citizens for donating to a protest. All of this aside, the protest is to protesting something that is objectively stupid and unnecessary. I have a great analogy for you that I'll tell you a little bit later, but I want to read this article. The incredible powers that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has given his government to freeze people's bank accounts is based on their reliance of analysis from the CBC. According to the 14-page document, the government tabled in the House of Commons Wednesday night detailing the supposed rationale for the Emergency Act was in place. Okay, that's just some verbal fodder here. On Thursday, Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister Chrystia Freeland confirmed that banks had begun complying with the government's orders and were freezing people's account. So I'm going to forget the acronym, the RTMP. The government is getting a list of people saying this person donated to the cause for truckers, donated to the Freedom Truckers Convoy. They sent that information to the banks, and now the banks, by order of the government, are freezing people's accounts. Whoa, dude. Like, that's a lot. The consequences are real, and they will bite, Freeland said. While Freeland made it sound like as if only truckers with big rigs would be targeted, the rules stipulate that the bank can freeze anyone directly or indirectly involved in the protest. If I were in Canada right now, first of all, we got to define directly and indirectly. Here, as I sit in Southern California, I'm not obviously directly involved. I haven't had any conversations with anybody. I haven't been to Canada. I'm not in Ottawa now, obviously. I'm not directly involved. But indirectly, I've been talking about the Trucker Freedom Convoy for the last several weeks. One, because it's freaking hilarious and awesome. Two, because it's against a mandate that doesn't make any sense. All of that aside, by definition, I am also indirectly involved with the trucker rally. I am indirectly involved with the protests. Thank God I don't live in Canada. But according to Freeland, that would be grounds for the banks to freeze my bank account. Somebody doing the exact same thing that I'm doing in, I don't know, British Columbia or Vancouver or anywhere in Canada, apparently if you're indirectly related to, if you're indirectly involved with the trucker protest, you can have your bank frozen by the government? I didn't even know they could do that. Let me read on a little bit and then talk to you a little bit more. While the constitutional law experts and civil liberties groups have said the threshold has not been met for the government to act on the 14-page of the Liberals, so basically summarizing this paragraph because it goes on a little bit long, there's a lot of people arguing on whether or not they can actually do that, right? Same kind of system with a lot of things of what President Biden does in the United States. The Supreme Court says, no, you can't do that. He says, we're doing it anyway, and then it has to get solved out in the courts. Similar type of thing going on here. Best example probably is the moratorium on evictions that the CDC, not a housing administration by any measure, Remember, the CDC said you can't evict anybody ever during the whole Chinese bat fever pandemic. The Biden administration upheld that, even though the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that, and there's obviously big court battles. That's what's going on here. Justin Trudeau said, we need to take emergency power. And everybody in the government is like, can he do that? The answer in my book would be no. But from a legal standpoint, I have no idea. But while they're sorting that out, the Canadian government is giving lists of people who are indirectly or directly involved with the protests to banks. And then those banks, by order of the government, is freezing those people's bank accounts. Oh my gosh, it remains possible that the Trudeau government has evidence. This is also some more commentary, basically saying it is possible that they could maybe do this legally, which is insane. If they have such evidence, they should immediately make it clear publicly, said some of the people fighting this case. This means anyone associated with the protests could conceivably see their banking, including mortgages, revoked. This is, again, what in the world is happening, man? I didn't even know the government could do that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe we'll get to a couple of these comments and see what's going on. A lot of naughty words that I can't use here. But Francis says something interesting. Welcome to China. Remember that clip we played? What was it? Monday? I think it was Monday when Justin Trudeau first came out and started saying we need to crack down a little bit more. But also we played a clip back to back on that with Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada. Actually, no, that was Tuesday. Getting my days mixed up. It doesn't matter. But Justin Trudeau said, well, I kind of envy Canada. I really admire their dictatorial state in a press conference / town hall with the Sun. Stefan says, madmen are running the country. Yeah, it's getting a little bit ridiculous. Mike, you spelled the name wrong, but that's okay. Putin and Xi should be proud of Trudeau. Yeah. There was a hilarious meme that had, well, I'm not going to explain it. Basically, yeah, Trudeau is making Xi Jinping envious of his position. Yeah, thank a trucker, says Sam. So basically what's happening is, yeah, the government can, apparently in Canada, revoke your ability to do business and bank in the country. That's pretty much all that. We're going to keep... So look, here's what's going on in the Canadian protests. Because I feel like, again, people are forgetting that the protest is to protest a very, very stupid rule. All of this, literally all of this, can be avoided if Trudeau decided to say, all right, yeah, we'll just get rid of the dumb rule. It's kind of like issuing a rule that says everybody in this country needs to wear purple shoes at all times. And a bunch of people were like, I don't want to wear purple shoes. And the government, instead of saying, yeah, you're right, that was a bad idea and that was dumb, they said, no, you need to wear purple shoes. And if you don't, you can't buy groceries with your bank card. If you don't wear purple shoes, we're freezing your bank accounts, including your mortgages. And the entire world reacting like, holy cow, man, you don't think that's just a little bit drastic? Not to mention, I didn't know you could do that. Hashtag wear purple shoes. Helps stop the Chinese bat fever. If you don't know that, wearing purple shoes is just as effective at stopping the Chinese bat fever as a cloth mask, but that's a whole other joke for another time. Lana says true dictatorship tactics. Yeah, it's not good. We'll see how this plays out. I'm sure that stuff's going to happen over the weekend. Legally speaking, we'll keep you up to date as much as possible on Monday. But that is nuts. I want to get to, let me see, who do I want to get to first? Because that's the biggest hard news story that we've got. You know what? Let's just, for funsies, let's just take a look at this. Hills, good old Hills. Miss Hills on the stump again. Here's the thing that I don't know, and I'm not entirely sure about. Why is anybody in their right mind with a platform and a constituency they need to talk to asking Hillary Clinton to come speak at their event. Are there no other popular Democrats out there for Democrats to have at Democrat conventions other than Hillary freaking Clinton? But Hillary Clinton spoke at the New York State Democratic Convention, and she said this. This is funny. Check it out.
They will do nothing to invest in our schools or make college more affordable. They'll ban books, but do nothing about guns. They'll make it harder for people to vote, but easier for big corporations to bust unions. They'll let polluters trash our environment and let Donald Trump trash our democracy. That's why I intend to work my heart out to elect Democrats up and down the ticket this November.
Here's my main thought on that. Obviously, the policy stuff is out of whack. I now believe that Hillary Clinton is a crazy person. So policy stuff, we're not even going to touch that. What I want to actually know is who thinks Hillary Clinton is still relevant and is having her speak at things? And also, in light of the Durham investigation report that came out last Friday that said, yeah, her campaign was paying people to hack servers at the White House. There's some nuances to that story that I feel like even a lot of your right-leaning media, Fox is missing. I read a lot about that the Durham investigation and what the report actually said. It's nuanced. There's some arguments saying, no, the Hillary Clinton campaign did not pay to hack the Trump Tower or the White House. Technically, that is a sound-ish argument to make if you're on that side of the aisle, but also, technically speaking, it's not. There's, again, a lot of nuances. Maybe we'll get to more of that as the Durham investigation continues to unfold. But again, in light of that, and also in light of Hillary Clinton being a bad politician, the Kamala Harris of her time, if you will, in light of all of those things, why is anybody asking her to speak? Who is at the New York Democratic Convention on that committee saying, hey, you know who I think we should have come talk to our people? Hillary Clinton. That would be good for business. Let's talk about this. This is Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci says unmasking kids is risky. Yesterday, I went on a little bit of a screed about how the unmasking of kids is not a science thing, but we all knew that already. It's a teachers' union thing. The teachers' unions don't want it to happen because they're holding out for more money to fund their unfunded pension liabilities. That is what's keeping kids in masks. Essentially, they're holding your kids hostage. And I'm not a big fan of using hyperbole, but I'm not entirely sure that's an inadequate statement for what's going on with kids in schools. Anyways, Fauci was on CNN talking yesterday. Sorry, it wasn't CNN. I think it was MSNBC. I think it was Chuck Todd, the Julius Caesar haircutted Chuck Todd. And he said this. Check this out. I think we should all roll our eyes at this, but at the same time, just be aware that it's still out there. And regardless of how far you've moved on from the whole COVID thing, Fauci is still out there saying ridiculous nonsense like this.
The trajectory right now is going way down. And it very well may be that if you take masks off the kids in the next week or so, it's going to keep going down. But you've really got to be careful. You know, you don't want to say it's an absolutely wrong decision. It's understandable why people want to take masks off the kids. But right now, given the level of activity that we have, it is risky.
Don't really need to say much about that, Dr. Fauci. Anything that could harm anybody, anywhere, anyway, is risky. Walking outside your home is risky because the media might hit the earth. You never know these days, so we can't walk outside of our homes. Also, we need to be buried in a bomb shelter because, of course, the media risk, although maybe a little bit low, still exists today, so we have to stay bunkered down for the foreseeable future. I don't know why anybody takes Dr. Fauci seriously anymore, but they do. I want to get to this. Here's something to get you good and riled up on a Wednesday. Wednesday? What in the world? What am I saying? I've been flying around too much. On a Friday, Leah Thomas, swimmer in Pennsylvania, won I believe. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what the official thing is. Won the Ivy League championships on Thursday in the 500-yard freestyle. Leah Thomas is the transgender swimmer from the University of Pennsylvania. I want to talk about that because that is pretty freaking interesting and also maddening. But before we do that, I got to tell you about inflation. Inflation is through the freaking roof. If you haven't figured that out already, I don't know. Have you been living under a rock? Have you gone to a grocery store? Have you had to pump gas in your car? Inflation is super high, 7.5% year over year, 40-year high. Last person to deal with this was Ronald Reagan all those years ago. And he said, inflation is like a thief in the middle of the night. It'll take your money and won't even think twice about it. So you have to protect yourself. How do you protect yourself? Gold. Gold is the best value holder since the beginning of the monetary system. And the best way that you can learn how to invest in gold is with our friends at Birch Gold. If you text JOBOB to 989898, that's Jobob to 989898. I know you have your phone sitting right here. Just do it. Help yourself out. Our friends at Birch Gold will send you a free, no risk, no obligation packet that tells you everything you need to know about protecting your financial future. The government is doing everything it can to sabotage the value of the US dollar. Protect yourself today with Birch Gold. They're an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, helped thousands of people across the country. Do it today, friend to a friend. Protect yourself against the inflation monster by texting JOBOB to 989898. Back to the swimming thing. I'm going to play this clip. If you're just listening, well, you can listen to the announcer and how the announcer handles it if you're just listening to the podcast. But watch how drastically this person, Leah Thomas, beats the other swimmers. And look, I've said this before. I tend to take a more libertarian view on this. Do whatever you want to do. People, just whatever. Like, if you want to, I don't know, call yourself something, whatever you want to do, just do that. But at the point where it starts affecting other people, in this case, other female swimmers, you can't do that. And this is just another fantastic example of that happening. Watch this clip. This is the transgender swimmer of University of Penn, Leah Thomas, setting a new pool record in the 500-yard meet and being crowned the champion of the Ivy League. Watch this.
Thomas heads in for the final turn. It's going to be a race for second place. It might be Penn going 1-2 with Baroker making the turn currently in second place. And over the last half of the pool, nobody will touch Leah Thomas, who will finish at 4:37.32. Leah Thomas, Ivy League champion in the 500 free. Second place to Catherine Baroker, another top.
So there's that. Finished head and shoulders and feet and several other body lengths ahead of everyone else. Thomas, who transitioned to a female, became the Ivy League champion with the pool record time at Harvard University's Blodgett Pool. Thomas competitors kept it close until roughly the halfway mark when Thomas took a sizable lead and cut 3 seconds off her personal best. A Penn sophomore came in second while defending the Ivy League championship. Yada, yada, yada. Holy cow, wait. While the defending Ivy League champ, Princeton sophomore Ellie Marquette, finished third. So if you don't know this story already, former male swimmer at the University of Penn transitions and then gets to compete with women and just smokes everybody to the shock and awe of everyone or no one. Actually, I don't think anybody is shocked by this literally at all. Again, whatever you want to do with your life, fine by me. But at the point that you're affecting other people, you don't get to do that. That's all I'll say about that. I want to get to this. This is just kind of a funny thing. You know what? We're going to end this on a funnier, lighter note. Also, by the way, if you haven't already, I would really, really appreciate it if you click the little like button, click the little share button. Helps us get out to more people, helps us continue to do what we're doing. Would love to do this for the next several years. Would love to do that, but we can only do that if you help us out by getting us out to your friends and your audience by clicking the little like button or clicking the little share button. Would, again, really, really appreciate it. This is going to end us on to the weekend. This is just you don't need to listen to what this guy is actually saying. I believe this is a Democrat representative out of Virginia. I want you just to watch, and maybe I'll do some commentary for the people who are just listening to this on the podcast. I want you to just watch the mask theater going on here. Two of his colleagues behind him realize, oh, shoot, we're on camera. Holy cow. What do we do? You know what? I'm going to get my timer out because I want to make sure I do this right the first time and not at the time and again. I'm going to set a stopwatch here. How long this guy on the left takes to put his mask on. Again, they didn't have masks on until the guy was on TV and they said, oh, whoa, hold on. We got to put our masks on. Watch this clip and enjoy it with me, the silliness of mask theater.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members of the House,
started.
I asked if you will at this time join me in which
again, it doesn't matter what he's saying, but if you're just listening to this, the lady to the left of him, oh no, I put her mask on. The guy, sorry, it's on his right, if we're looking at it. The guy on the left, just taking his sweet time. We are 19 seconds into this clip. He's now taking off his glasses. I forgot I have to perform the mask theater. 30 seconds in. Now here we go. The mask finally comes on and the glasses go back on. It took 35 seconds for that guy to participate in the mask theater that is on the floor of the Virginia House of Commons. Again, what the guy was saying was completely irrelevant. It's just funny that the two people behind him went, oh, shoot, we're on TV. Where's my mask? I got to put it on. And then obviously the dude on whatever side, I get so mixed up between what's left and right here and what's left and right here. On the left side, the dude on the left side of the screen is so nonchalant about it. It took him 35 seconds to put his mask on. I forgot we're still pretending this is a thing. 1 second. I don't know where my, but that's that. That sends you off into the weekend, maybe on a funnier note. But that is what it is. Before we go, I got to tell you one more time about protecting your savings. Inflation is at an all-time, not an all-time high, a 40-year high. In what, the 70s, people are like buying houses at like 15% interest rate, 20% interest rate, because that's how much they needed to jack up the interest rate to stem inflation. And it's back. Great. Awesome. Inflation is through the roof. 7.5% means it's stealing every single dollar you have saved. 7.5% of that dollar is now gone in the last year. You need to protect yourself. And what's the best way to do it? The entire history of monetary systems, the best value holder has been gold. So you need to invest in gold to get yourself away from the inflation monster. How do you invest in gold? Our friends at Birch Gold are the best place to do that. You can learn everything you need to know about investing in gold and protecting your financial future by texting JOBOB to 989898. That's Jobob to 989898. Our friends at Birch Gold will send you a no risk, no obligation, no nothing packet that tells you everything you need to know about investing in gold today. It's the best way to protect yourself against the government sabotaging the US dollar. Birch Gold is an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Help thousands of people. If you have an existing IRA, an existing 401k, you can roll those in to a gold-backed IRA, and you can protect yourself against the inflation monster that is coming to get your savings. Do it today. Text JOBOB to 989898. That's Jobob to 989898. Protect yourself today. Please do it. Friend to a friend. I don't want to see your finances get scrubbed when the government, who craves high inflation, continues to sabotage the value of the US dollar. That's going to do it for us today. That's going to do it for us this week. Let me see. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll talk later on about I had a crazy week. What was it? Wednesday morning, we didn't do the show. We weren't here. Sorry about that. I was on a plane to Chicago. Did a awesome rally. Just kind of giving people some information about the mask mandates going on there. Flew to Phoenix, talking about freedom there too. The freedom movement, as I can tell you, as someone who's been going around the country talking to a bunch of different people, the freedom movement is alive and real, and it's sad to see how we needed to get there, but it's also heartening to see that people of all walks of life, all backgrounds, all racial ethnicities, all education variations, all ages, people from all across the spectrum, the diverse spectrum that is the United States of America, are finally coming together to say enough is enough. We need to have more freedom. The government has too much power. And to me, that's exciting. Again, it's sad that all of this needed to happen to get us to this point, but the fact that it's happening now is exciting, and I think we need to be excited about it going forward. Maybe we'll talk more about that later on, maybe in the future, but that's going to do it for us this week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. If you haven't already, would appreciate a follow on any of the social media platforms. Jobob on Instagram. I'm hilarious on Instagram, by the way. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Gator, YouTube, all of those social media platforms. We can stay in touch there and send me stories. If anything's happening in your neck of the woods that we should know about, that I should know about, send it along. Social media is the best way to do that. That's going to do it for us today. Hey, appreciate you tuning in, sticking with us throughout the week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. God bless America.